Here's a question I want you to be honest with yourself about. When did your metal detector stop working? Because if it has stopped working, if it's actually dead, if it's given up the ghost, then yeah, fair enough. Go buy a new one. But if it's still running fine, if it finds targets, if it has signals on a test nugget, if nothing is actually wrong with it, then why do you want a new one? I'll tell you why, and you're not going to love the answer. Hey guys, good to see you again. I'm Bruce, the Part-Time Prospector here. Look, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while because I see it coming over and over again in the comments, in forums, people message me directly. Someone's got a perfectly good machine, a genuine, capable machine, and they're eyeing off the latest shining, all singing, all dancing new model and wondering if that's the thing that's going to change everything. So today I want to dig into that a bit. Not to tell you what to do with your money, that's entirely your call, but it's just to give you a few things to think about before you hand over enough money for a deposit on account. So let's start with a question you've actually got to ask yourself. What's wrong with the old machine? And I mean genuinely wrong. Not, it hasn't found me a 10-ounce nugget yet. Not, I've been watching YouTube videos and that guy just dug up a stonking great nugget with the new one. That's wrong. I mean, has your detector actually failed you? Because here's the thing. There are legitimate reasons to upgrade. If you've been beach detecting your whole life with something, say like an Equinox, and you've decided you want to get into the gold fields of WA and have a crack at some proper gold country, well, yeah, that's a real upgrade. The Equinox is a brilliant machine, but it's not a pulse induction machine, and it's not going to handle a mineralized ground. That is a genuinely different tool for a genuinely different job. But that's not what most people are talking about when they talk about upgrading. Most people are talking about going from, say, a perfectly good GPX6000 to the new all-singing, all-dancing GPZ8000, or from one high-end PR machine to the next generation high-end PR machine. And if that's you, if you've got a machine that's already capable of finding gold in WA ground, then I want you to sit with this question for a moment. Why? Why are you upgrading? Because the answer most people give themselves isn't actually the real answer. And I'll show you what's going on in a minute. So let's talk about how the detector companies actually operate, because this is important. Metal detector companies, like almost every technology company, have got to keep bringing out new models. That's just the reality of being in that business. If they go quiet for multiple years, someone else fills the gap. So every couple of years, they come out with the next generation with a new name on the box and a new set of claims. And look, sometimes those claims are real. Sometimes a new machine comes along that's genuinely revolutionary, and it does happen. But sometimes the upgrade is incremental at best. A bit of extra processing power here, a new coil option there, a slightly different color on the box. The companies still have to release it because that's what keeps the shareholders happy and their revenue flowing. Now here's where it gets interesting, and this is the bit that I think catches people out. When a new machine is about to launch, the companies don't just put it on the shelves. They get it out to the influencers first, the well-known prospectors, the ones with the big followings. These guys people actually listen to, and they send them out detecting. Now, I want to be absolutely fair here. Most of these guys are genuinely skilled prospectors. They know what they're doing. They're good at what they do. So when they go out with a brand new machine on their best ground, and I underscore best ground there's a reasonable chance they're going to find gold. And the companies know that. That's the whole point. What you end up seeing in these videos, all well-produced, genuinely exciting videos of experienced prospectors out there finding good gold with a new machine. And your brain does a very natural connection. New machine equals more gold. It's a psychological trick, the very effective one, and it works on almost everyone, including people who know it's happening. And here's the part that nobody really wants to hear, and it's the part that could actually save you tens of thousands of dollars. If you're not finding your fair share of gold and your thought is, I'll buy the new machine and that'll fix it, that's probably not what's going on here. In my experience, and look, years of working as an exploration geologist give you a certain perspective on things. The reason most people aren't finding gold comes down to just two things, and neither of them is the machine. The first one is they're going to the wrong ground. The machine can be perfect. If you're swinging over ground that doesn't have gold, you're not going to find gold. You can have the best detector on ground that has no gold, find nothing. You can have an average detector on good ground and it will find gold. It's not the detector's problem, it's a research problem. That's a do your homework before you leave the home problem. And the second one, and this one's a bit harder to hear, is that even when people are on the right ground, they're often not detecting it thoroughly enough, not slowly enough, not systematically enough, not with enough overlap on the coil. The huge nuggets are probably already gone, to be honest. What's left out there tends to be gold that requires you to work the ground methodical, to really work the ground hard, to go back over areas you've already done. And here's the thing. A newer, more expensive machine does not fix either of those problems. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not knocking any of these new detectors. They are exceptional machines. Personally, I haven't used any of them. Reports I've heard, they make everything bar coffee and toast. Do everything but coffee and toast. Generally good. If you can afford one and you want one and it's not going to cause you any grief financially, go for it. There's nothing wrong with having the best gear available. But if you're sitting there thinking that spending 10 to 15 grand on a new machine is the missing piece between you and consistent gold, save your money. Put it towards buying a better vehicle. Put some of it into research tools. Get yourself on better ground and detect it properly. That will find you more gold than any new machine. And look, there's one more thing worth saying here, because there actually is the right time to upgrade, and it's not the time when most people think it is. So when should you upgrade? The honest answer is when your machine generally can't do the job anymore. Like I said earlier, if you're moving from a beach machine to the goldfields machine, that's a real reason. Different ground, different technologies altogether. That's not an upgrade. That's basically buying the right tools for a different job. Or if your machine is generally given up the ghost and the repair costs are more than replacement, yeah, obviously buy a new one. Or if you've been detecting for a few years, you've built up your skills, you know how to read the ground, you've done your research, you're generally good at finding good areas and detecting them well. And now, if you want to push your results a bit further by getting the best possible sensitivity on those deep, small targets, that's a reasonable argument. At that point, you've earned the upgrade, in a sense because you've actually got the skills to take advantage of what that top-shelf metal detector can do. The key question is always, what's the limiting factor? If the answer is the machine, upgrade. If the answer is knowledge, research, or technique, and it usually is, then spending money on new gear just delays the real work that needs to happen. So here's what I would suggest. Before you spend anything, ask yourself 3 questions. 1, is my current machine actually failing me, or am I just watching too many YouTube videos? 2, do you know how to find good ground, and am I actually going there? And 3, when I'm on the good ground, am I detecting it in a way it deserves to be detected? Slowly, systematically, covering the ground properly. If the honest answer to questions 2 and 3 is probably not, fix those first. They're free and they will make a bigger difference than any machine upgrade will ever be. If you genuinely ticked all of those boxes and you still want the best possible edge, then, well, you've earned it. Go and have a look at what's out there. Look, I hope this has been useful. I know it's maybe not the sort of information you want to hear, and I get it. Shiny new gear is exciting. I've been there. We've all been there. But the goal doesn't care what machine you're swinging. It cares whether you're standing over it. So do your research. Get to good ground. Work it properly. That's the upgrade that pays off. If you found this video of value, I'd love it if you could give me a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you've got a question, drop it down below and I'll do my best to get to you. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride. Thanks, guys. Take care out there, and we'll see you in the next video.